My name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 158. Page 158, and today is our lesson number 49. Lesson number 49. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Problem number 45. Problem number 45. It says if 4 is one solution of the equation x squared plus 3x plus k, x squared plus 3x plus k equals 10, what is the other? What is the other? What they mean by that is that, what is the other? What's the other solution? What they mean by that is that it is a quadratic equation. It is where the variable is raised to a second power. Because it's a quadratic equation, it will have two solutions typically. It will have two solutions. For example, let me give you a very simple example of a quadratic equation where there will be two solutions. In other words, there will be two different values of the variable that will satisfy the equation. For example, something very simple, very straightforward. X squared equals 1. That's a quadratic equation, a very simple, very straightforward quadratic equation. It has two solutions. Two solutions means, what are the values of x? What are, you see plural, because there are two of them. What are the values of x which will satisfy this equation? And there are two of them, as we know already. X equals to positive 1 would work, and x equals to negative 1 would work. Both of these values of x's will satisfy the equation because we are told that x squared equals 1. Positive 1 squared is 1, and x squared equals 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So there are two values of x's that satisfy this equation. The same exact thing is going on here. They are telling us one value, they are telling us 4 is 1. In other words, if you were to substitute 4 wherever we see x in it, this equation should hold. That's how we speak, that's how one speaks. This equation should hold. This equation should be satisfied. This equation should be valid. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to replace all the x's with 4, and we're going to first find out the value of k. Once we find out the value of k, then we'll have a proper quadratic equations. We will solve it. Of course, at the very end, we will have two solutions, of which one will be worthless because we already know what that is. That's 4. Then we'll find the other one. Okay, that's the procedure. Let's get going. Let's get going. So, x equals to 4. We're going to replace x with 4. So x squared becomes 4 squared plus 3 times 4 plus k equals 10. That is a valid equation. Whatever the value of the k is, what we find here, since this is a valid equation, we can find the value of k. So based on this equation, 16 plus 12 plus k equals 10, which means k equals 10 minus 16 minus 12. 10 minus 16 is minus 6, a negative 6 and a negative 12 is negative 18. So k equals negative 18. So that is our equation. Now we have our equation here, we can work on it. Let's put it here. So our equation actually turns out to be x squared plus 3x, x squared plus 3x plus k, which we just found is negative 18. We just found that k equals negative 18. We're going to put it back in there. Equals 10. And of course, quadratic equations are not written like this. They're usually written in a standard form, and the standard form is where we have the variable with the second power, then the first power, and then the constant. So that's what we're going to do. Bring the 10 to this side. In other words, subtract 10 from both sides of the equation. This 10 will cancel out and it will come over here. So subtract 10 from both sides, and we end up with x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. Voila. That's it. That is what is known as a quadratic equation in a standard form. Now, the rest of the stuff that I'm about to do, if it gives you trouble, if you're not familiar with it, then at the end I'm going to recommend some videos that you can watch to get more practice to get more practice on the method called factorization. We can employ a method called. So that's our equation. That's it. I'm going to erase this part. Factorization it is called, and what that means is, let me put that equation here so we can work on it. Okay, we don't need any of this thing. We're done with all of this thing here. We don't need this thing, and I need the rule. X squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. Now, here's how it goes. We are looking for two numbers which, when multiplied together, which give us a product of 1 times negative 28. Why 1 times negative 28? Because you have to consider this into account. This has a coefficient of 1. Had there been a coefficient here, something other than 1, it would have been 2 times 28 or 3 times 28, whatever it is. So we're looking for two numbers which give us the product of 1 times negative 28, which is same as negative 28. So we're looking for two numbers which, when multiplied together, give us a product of negative 28. And the same two numbers, when added together, give us a positive 3. A positive 3 right here. This guy right here. So let's think of those two such numbers. It's not that complicated. It's very simple. Because of the fact that it's 28, there are not too many possibilities. The very first thing that comes to my mind is 28 can be. Very first thing that comes to mind is 28 can be broken up into 7 times 4. You see, 7 times 4 equals 28. Okay, keep listening. 7 times 4 equals 28. But we don't have 28, we have a negative 28. There is a negative in front of it. We have a negative 28. Here we have a positive 1 and a negative 28. So positive 1 times negative 28 gives us negative 28. So how do we convert this positive 28 to negative 28? Very simple. Put the negative sign in front of one of the two. Now the problem is, if we work with negative 7 and a positive 4, or negative 7 and a positive 4, when you add them, you get a negative 3. We don't need a negative 3, we need a positive 3. The sum has to be positive 3. So that's not the scenario we're looking for. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is positive 7 times a negative 3. A positive 7 times negative 3 gives us the product of negative 28, and a positive 7 and a negative 4 should be negative 4 gives us the sum of positive 3. Right there. That's it. We found our factors. Our factors are positive 7 and a negative 4. We're going to put them in there. So it goes something like this. So our equation becomes x squared, and our positive 3x is written as positive 7x and a negative 4x. And minus 28 equals 0. Minus 28 comes straight from here. That's it. When you add up these two, positive 7x and a negative 4x, we get a positive 3x. When we multiply negative 28 by x squared, we get negative 28x squared, which is exactly what we have here. Negative 28 times x squared. Now, let's look at these two. Let's look at these two terms, this term and this term. Do you find anything common in these two terms? Is there anything at all that is a common factor? Yes, the common factor is x. This is x squared, this is 7x. Let's take out the x. So we have x plus 7 left over. We have x plus 7 left over. And as you can see, if we open the parentheses, if you were to open the parentheses, we will get back our x squared and we'll get back our 7x. That's where it comes from. Now look at these two. Do you find anything common in there? I see a negative 4 and a negative 28. 4 is divisible by 4, of course, and 28 is divisible by 4. So they have a common factor of 4. Let's take it out common. And this is negative and this is negative. I'm going to take out negative 4 common. If you take out negative 4, what we are left inside from this term is x, because you see negative 4 times x gives us back the negative 4x. And similarly, since we have taken out the negative, this becomes positive in here, positive 7. Because negative 4 times the positive 7 is going to give us the negative 28 that we have here. Now we concentrate on these two parts, this part and that part. Do you find anything common in these two parts? The part that we find common is what we see in the parentheses. The part that we find common is what we see in the parentheses, which is this part right here. X plus 7, x plus 7. We're going to take it out common. We're going to take out this part common. This part is common and this right here. Let's take it outside, and if we were to do that, we get x plus 7, and here we are left with only x, and then here we are left with negative 4. Again, if you were to do it out, you will get x plus 7, you will get this quantity x plus 7 times x is going to give you x times x plus 7, and x plus 7 times negative 4 is going to give you negative 4 times x plus 7. And this entire thing equals 0. Remember, this whole thing equals 0. Now we have two numbers whose product is 0. Now when there are two integers, this is an integer, this is an integer, when their product is 0, there are only two possibilities. And the two possibilities are, since x plus 7 and x minus 4 equals 0, that implies that either x plus 7 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. Now, if x plus 7 equals 0, that would imply that x is equal to negative 7. X is equal to negative 7, which is what we are interested in because we knew the other one. I erased it already. They tell us what one of the roots. What number was this question? This is number 45. They tell us that 4 is one of the solutions. So that's right here. X minus 4 equal to 0, which implies that x must be 4. But we already knew that x equals to 4. What we were interested in is what is the other solution. The other solution is negative 4. Voila. The other solution is negative 4. What I'm going to do here before I completely forget about it is I'm going to erase this part here because I need the room. I need to write something. The method that we just used is called factorization. And if you want to get a little bit better at it, if you want to practice some more, just type in revised GRE math. Yes, I know that we are not here for GRE, we are here for GMAT, but math is math. Do you understand? Type in revised GRE math, day 99 through 103, day 124 and 141. So initially I spent 5 days on this topic, a day 99, 100, 101, 102, 103. So there are 5 videos that you will find. Just type in this tag. Just type in revised GRE and then day number, day 99 or day 100, day 103, whatever day that you need. And if it doesn't pop up, use my name with it. It will pop right up. Just put in revised GRE, day revised GRE math, day 124. Just like this one says GMAT math, it says revised GRE math, day 124. Watch all of these videos. There are 5 over there, as you can see, 99 through 103, and then 2 more. There are 7 of them. Watch those videos, solve the problems with me. So when I set up the problem, pause the video at that time, solve it yourself, and then match your work against the work that you do with me together, and that's how we learn. Anyway, that's it. What question was, what's the other solution? And the answer is, it is negative 7. The other solution is negative 7. Only last thing that is left is, the only thing that is left at the very end that I always like to do is, I always like to buy an insurance. Insurance, of course, costs something. Insurance is never free, but it's worth the premium. It's going to cost you a 5 extra seconds in the exam, but I don't mind paying that premium for the peace of mind. So I'm going to put in negative 7 and make sure that we haven't made a boo-boo here. So negative 7 squared. Now, of course, in the real exam, I wouldn't waste my time putting down negative 7 squared that I just did here. I would have put directly here, I would have directly put here 49. Do you understand? And of course, plus 3 times negative 7. Again, I would not have written like this. I would have simply written down negative 21. And this would have been 49. And then negative 28. Let's see if this actually does add up to 0. Because it has to add up to 0. 21 and a 28. We don't have to do anything to see that 21 and 28 is negative 49, and negative 49 and the positive 49 does indeed add up to 0. As I said, it only takes 5 seconds to buy that insurance. It does work. -7 is the right answer, which happens to be answer choice A. Answer choice A. I'm gonna answer choice A. This was problem number 45. Just give me 1 second. There you go. Answer choice A. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.